Hello, welcome back to another episode of NOMO FOMO. This hobby, for me, for many years, if not decades, was a very solitary kind of hobby where, I buy things, I enjoy things, but I really didn't pay much attention to what other people were doing. I'm not the majority, I don't think. I could be, but I try not to speak for other people. All I know was for me, and I'm sure other people can feel the same way or share similar thoughts that back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, this hobby was not something that was widely shared by many people. You may have a friend or two here and there that collect, but at the same time, there's no message board, there's no social media, there's no other voices that tell you what to buy. Sure, those came in more in the 90s where there are fanzines and publications that talk about hot books to invest in or to buy. Yes, those are more prevalent, I would say, in the 90s. But even then, it's not something that was in my subconscious. Okay, I did not care one bit about what people said was a hot book to buy in the 90s or the 80s. But regardless of how anyone feel about that, if you enter the hobby after the age of the internet, everything changes. Okay, especially in the last, I would say, 10 years, where YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all those things blew up in the last 10 years. That changed a lot of things. Even when I returned to the hobby in 2008 and joined the CGC forum, sure, the forum has been around for at least 6, 7, 8 years already at that point, at least 6 years. CGC had been around for 8 years at that point. I don't think they start the forum right away, but maybe a year or two later. Correct me if I'm wrong. As always, I don't know everything, and the truth police will jump out here and tell me, no, the CGC forum was started in March of 2002 or something exact date to correct me if I say a wrong date. You know how it is with the internet. Regardless, when I returned and joined the CGC forum, even though it was not small, yet it is. Okay, if you have a few thousand people surfing the internet, participate in the forum, a few thousand is not a whole lot. It's not the voice of the hobby, okay? It's a subsection of the hobby, but yet there it was. And for me, it was a new world that I was yet willing to embrace, because I joined the CGC forum to learn about CGC and to learn about grading, something that I was not very good at the start. But I also noticed people sharing, showing off, bragging, whatever term you want to throw out there, as far as people showing pictures of what they buy, what they bought, what they won in various auctions. And it was just not for me. It was not something that I was comfortable, nor do I care. That's the biggest thing for me. Was I didn't really care what other people have. I didn't really care what other people bought. Sure, I care what I bought, but do I care to show off to other people what I had or what I won? Not really. There's multiple reasons. A, I didn't want, it's not in me to share or show off or brag. It's not really my personality. B, as a business person, I fully embrace the art of negotiation. And to me, one of the weakest thing that I can do to myself is show my hand. If I go out there and brag to people, look, I just won this book for 50,000 on heritage. Do you think if I try to buy something on the CCC message board and trying to haggle for $100 discount, you think a seller is gonna look at that and say, you just bought a book for 50,000 and you're trying to squeeze me on this book from 2000 to 1900? No, some of them might not. I'm not saying that a seller may give a damn that I bought a book for 50,000, but as part of my approach in life, I try not to show my hand to potential buyer or seller because it's just weaken my position. If somebody have a garage sales and I drove up there in a Porsche and trying to haggle on a lamp, do you think that look even sane? There's a lot of little things like that where, my approach to life is that, I'd rather go into a garage sales with tattered clothes, flip-flop, and haggle than showing up there in my fancy shoes and fancy sport car and trying to haggle with whatever. So it's just the art of negotiation for me. Okay, that's just how I approach many ways, many things in life, and I don't like to show off things. Have I show off, share many more things in the past 5 years? Absolutely, absolutely. Why is that? Because I got most of what I wanted, and I'm not in the business of buying a lot of stuff, so I don't need to negotiate or try to negotiate anything. Okay, so the less I need to negotiate, the less I care hurting my image by showing something that I have. Does that make sense? But yeah, I'm not a big fan of showing my hand because to me, it just weaken my side of the bargaining issue. So whether I'm a buyer or seller, I don't want to show my hand. That's just how I approach business. But one other thing that is prevalent today is social media. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of newer collectors embrace social media for many reasons. Okay, for many reasons. Some people will even admit, hey, I like to watch YouTube videos. I like to flip through and spend hours on Instagrams every day because I like to look for ideas of what to buy. Yeah, I'm not like that, but I'm sure you have heard of people that mention those exact thoughts. They look for ideas to buy. Okay, so that's one of the many influences of social media. There's a reason why people on Instagram are called influencer or something like that. I think that's a label that the big players on Instagram call themselves, influencer. And so that drove a big part of the market. There's no way to measure it, okay? But I'm sure if you talk to a lot of collectors out there, you will find a few that will admit that they get influenced by YouTube videos or other influencers on Instagram. So I'm not here to tell people do not use social media. I'm here to say that social media is a big part. How big, I don't know, but it is, in my opinion, a big part of the FOMO because it's human to see things and potentially get influenced into wanting something even though you don't really want it, okay? You never knew you want something until you see it, right? I'm sure you have heard that phrase here and there, correct? So would I tell people to avoid social media? to alleviate the FOMO. I know for me, it's not a big deal for me. I don't like Instagram, not because I don't want it to create unnecessary wanting. That's not the reason why I don't like Instagram. I barely log on to Instagram once a week to check for messages. Those that sent me messages, I'm sure you have seen me reply sometime weeks, if not months later, right? Because I don't log onto it often. I remind myself to do it maybe once a week or once a month just to make sure that I don't miss any message. But usually my reply tend to say, email me or comment through my YouTube channels because I don't check Instagram that often. I avoid Instagram or use Instagram because to me, it's just, I don't want to log into Instagram and see a walls of pictures, okay? I don't need to see it. I'm not interested in seeing a lot of things. I have said this many times before. I don't really care what people buy. I don't care what people want to buy or show off or whatever it is. I like the hobby. I enjoy hearing stories about people in the hobby more so than whatever they bought. Yeah, I like to hear stories, reason why they bought something, how they work hard to achieve to get something, or how hard the chase was, how difficult it was to get that book, how long it took someone to find something. Those are the kind of stories that interest me more so than what exactly is the book. Thus, I don't care for Instagram because Instagram is just, for the most part, to me, just walls and walls of pictures, which I'm not all that interested in. That's why I stay away from Instagram. Uh, but that's my main reason. It has nothing to do about anything else. So for me, social media is a big part of the FOMO because as a collector, you hear a lot of voices. On top of that, a lot of people also use social media as a form of affirmation, confirmation, right? You buy something, you bought something, you won something, and you want to be confirmed that you did something right, right? So yeah, having all that hearts, yeah, it, I don't really care what people think about what I bought. I don't. So I don't need the hearts, the likes, all that stuff to confirm I did the right thing. But for some people, that matters. So that's a big part of social media is that affirmation, the confirmation that someone is doing the right thing. There is no solution for that, okay? I'm no psychologist, okay? I can't tell you what someone need to do to get more confidence in what you're doing, okay? I don't know, okay? All I can tell you is all my life when it comes down to this hobby, I bought what I wanted. That's all it mattered. It has nothing to do with what people on the CGC forum said or what people on Instagram said or Facebook or YouTube. I don't care. Okay? Always been that way. For those that know me for the past 7 years on YouTube, that's how I approach the hobby. It works for me. Okay? This is why I don't have the FOMO. If you can somehow cultivate, that's the term, cultivate that attitude about buying what you want instead of being influenced by other people, I think you get a lot less FOMO. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.